Let's jump right in here. This is the Fox Garden hen house. FDOT is participating in the issue, is part of the problem with this bridge failure, as far as my opinion goes. As you can see, this statement here, and I'll give you the source in a minute, is Politico. At the request of the NTSB, FDOT is providing technical assistance to understand what caused this tragedy. This shows that NTSB is inept with their abilities to figure this out because they're asking FDOT to help. Either that or NTSB is playing possum and getting FDOT to incriminate themselves, which I don't think so, because FDOT was the pass-through for the federal government's funds. So in essence, this is the federal government would then be going after the federal government. And we know they don't do that. The federal government doesn't prosecute the federal government. They prosecute individuals, but they don't throw themselves under the bus. When's the last time you heard the federal government said, "Oh, we did that. That's all us. Yeah, that's our call on that. We did that one. That's all us." No. So this is the fox guarding the hen house, and both of these are the foxes. And then FIU or related records last. Okay. So this is just, you can read this stuff if you want. It's a waste of energy to go down this any more than I'm going to hit a few points, but it's going to be a waste of energy in videos from this point forward. Here's a update on FIUs. This is the attorney for FIU. FIU's, the NSB has, and his statement is, the NSB has now authorized FIU to release records. This, through conversely or implication, this also means the NTSB has also restricted FIU from releasing documents. This is converse thing. Conversely is a beautiful thing. Whatever someone has a position is also conversely against that. And if you know about me, I told you I'm always trying to be conversely with myself with my ad hoc thing. All right. As a result of this authorization, FIU is now processing pending. So conversely, they're not processing non-pending records in accordance with existing procedures. Conversely, that means they will they will stick with these existing procedures, but will not come outside that line, and will respond accordingly. And so you can understand what that means using the conversely statements. As we refresh this page right live, let's see if anything's new. This is how I track down my data sometimes, which now, if they're following it, they know now not to do it in this format. So that can bite me in the ass, right? So that would be FIU News, because then they know the source of some of my sources. All right. Moving on, yes, he's this guy. People have commented that, yeah, he's saying we need to go back to this slow roll. All right, so that's nothing special. We move on from there. And what bridge holds the most weight? I was trying to resolve this with a few Google searches. All right, BPA is what they refer to themselves as, which is only Building Performance Analysis. There's an email that addresses BPA as a thing, but I have to confirm that with that. I don't just assume. All right, FIU bridge collapse and reinforcement cables placement contribution to number 11 diagonals failure. Okay, so this is video number 6 is what I meant, not number 6. And I got trolled the heck out of this. And by chance, Google, if you listen to this video now, Google has me repeating so many statements. They've trashed this video where I've been trying to fix it, but they trash it where I'm redundant with it's like I was doing a video and I kept saying the same thing over and over again perfectly. You know, they retimed it. It's terrible. Oh, B.B. King. I was listening to some B.B. King. All right. So we'll get away from that. And this puts us back to the cracks revealed, not clickbait, number 7. So number 7 is what? Why do I come to number 7? Sorry about that, guys. Yeah. That's something else. Number 7, the engineers, if you follow these, and I'll do a longer video on it, this is the only time he's playing hardball in red ink that I can tell. Everything else might have been hardball verbally, but not in a paper trail. And is this it? Yes. This is my infamous number 7 I'm referring to. So this is the engineer, the CEI, inspecting engineer. And this is the engineer of record. Okay, and he is sending this from himself to this person here who works for MCM, and I believe this person had something to do with obviously what we're referring to. I'm not going to mix this video up. Let me just move on. The point is, if you look at this, a lot of times the federal government was not notified of the cracks, and I think they might have had to report those in updates. FIU might have had to report those in updates. I'm not sure if this company had, but FIU was the funding, who they received the funding. I think they were required to report this, and FIU was getting copied on this stuff. Not in this one, it appears, or is it? Let's see. Not in this one, which says, please refer to the pictures attached regarding some cracks seen on some cracks. It refers to as some cracks seen on truss members of span 1 after the removal of the formwork. So for clarity, this is some and cracks, meaning more than one on span 1. This is vagueness for my definition. This is vagueness for sure. Because if I was to receive this, I would go, what do you mean by some? Can you be more specific? Or not can you? I would establish, can he be? And then I would say, be more specific. And so forward to, and I want to establish Kenny, because maybe he says, well, I'm getting this third hand. All right, forward to the engineer of record. Okay, so you can see that he purposely made a go-between to get, instead of sending this to the engineer of record, he made a go-between of these people to send it to Denny Pate, engineer of record. We will monitor these, and this is what his statement is. We will monitor these or any other developing cracks on the bridge, but we would like the engineer of record to provide a response. Would like to, not demand, and determine if these were in his and part. So you could say that he's saying the and part is a separate part, a separate demand, if you will, a statement. Determine if these were expected during the bridge stressing. All right, so the one due the size that we believe needs special attention is the cracks shown in photos 5, 6, and 7. The one due the size, and I think he means due to the size. Remember, no offense, I think we're speaking to someone who doesn't speak English as their primary language, as I heard in a couple of videos that I copied that they're speaking. It appears to be Spanish, and so this would be a grammatical error that can be huge in reports. All right, so in photos 5, 6, and 7. Now, as I showed you in the previous in this video previously, that the go-between of data is FIU, and FIU is allowed to submit or release some images. I want to know if FIU is holding back on image number 7 or is the NTSB. But image number 7 is critical, and it's critical because they mentioned it. The inspecting engineer mentioned it, and it is not shown in these images. Photo 1 and 2, photo 3 and 4, photo 5 and 6. And by chance, we have no photo number 7. In fact, when you look here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this appears to be even redacted. Unless by chance he did another photo, another image, and then added photo 7 to it individually. But clearly he said photo number 7 also. So we're getting redacted data, and this is where I shine. I can outdo anyone when it comes to structural and data and information you're putting forward. I'll challenge. I put myself with anyone that can sniff out, as someone said, what's being held back. I did an hour video showing you how you can interpret all of these, probably to be 100%. I mean, I'm not even thinking I'm 99%. I'm nailing what the intent of each one of these vague statements are, and even why the red ink came back, because he got bucked, if you will, by MCM saying basically that, in my opinion, basically that so I got to change that 100% to 99%. That he got bucked by MCM on this one. and that he countered back with his statements. Now, just for your knowledge, when you see that, if you slow down and look at a couple of these, and I got to stop it. I got to stop this video, but I'm going to show you this. For example, pressure test was performed on the longitudinal tendon D3 pass, as per this code. Note, other pressure tests will be performed in one of the post-tension bar systems before pouring the truss. In one of the post-tension bars, so it's going to be a random. This is a deadly mistake to do a random. They all need to be tested. All right, so that's something that I can prove to you. This means this is a way that says this is this is what we're limiting. This is limiting factor, limiting our testing to this. This is conversely thing. Now you could go with conversely with D3. Pressure test was performed to the longitudinal tendon D3 pass, or you can also read it this way, that let's say I inspected these tendons, and I tested D3, and I got D3 tested, and I signed off that D3 passed per this. And then I want to say to you that 2 others didn't pass, or all the others didn't pass. I don't want to document this to you because, you know, I do have a conflict of interest. I'm representing you also, and I don't want to slam you too much in documentation. So I'm going to tell you that D3 passed, and verbally you and I know that what I'm telling you is that the others didn't pass. And if you want me to jam you up, I will jam you up in some documentation. But I'm going to soft step you and say this, and you know you better come back, because I'm going to come back with testing again. But I'm going to tell you D3 passed, and in essence I'm saying, well, you guys know what I'm alluding to, hopefully, but I got to be careful how I state everything here. Okay, so due to the transverse tendon alignment horizontal position being out of tolerances, the ERA, engineer of record, will provide the as-built plans representing the existing condition along with the corresponding. So this is a sort of an out, saying, give me the as-built. Tell me that you saw this. This is what it will be acknowledging. Tell me that and then he would then, ideally, would turn this, would want to stamp saying that this has also been calculated. The engineering has been calculated that this new as-built position is acceptable for engineering, and you would actually probably pass that back on FDOT. And if FIU's got any engineering hand in this, you'd pass it on to them also. But as we look here, this was passed on to FIU up here. My mouse, following my mouse. It was passed on to FIU. I do not know these other people. I do not know their position or where they belong. You know, perhaps they do belong in the federal government thing. You can Google that. I am not going down that part where I'm going to be Googling their names at this point. And, you know, maybe you guys will and say, hey, you know what? One of them does work for the federal government, meaning that they do have access to this position here. This is a red alert to me. That's red alert. Literally, the whole statement is a red alert. All I want to see is outstanding, outstanding, outstanding. You do not find outstanding, outstanding, outstanding on this. You find ambiguous statements that say opposite of outstanding, in my opinion. And here we go. You're asking for as-built. This means implies, conversely, that the inspecting engineer had the plans. He went to that job site, and I'm saying he, you know, nowadays people have women names, right? So he went to the job site with those plans, and they came up different than his plans. And so this is why he's asking for an as-built, because they appear not to be in line with the plans. They're not in lines. Now, I can give him an out by saying, well, I also want the as-built because I want to see that that I am verifying what I'm seeing is in line. But clearly he's saying they're not in line, that they're out of alignment. All right, so we used it, and I think I wrongly in another video said this is a federal highway. This is Florida highway. But I think that's where the federal operates out of, this office. All right, Jorge. Since FIG, this is from Hector P.E. from the Florida Department, representing this construction build, if you will. Since FIG provided MCM an elevation and evaluation of the as-built condition of the transverse tendons in the deck span 1, transverse tendons 12, 13, and 37. This appears that these are the ones that are out of line. This is very important to me. And these are transverse cables. And the analysis shows the stresses are within the allowable limits established by, back to the federal codes. I have no further comments. So it says sense. Listen how it's open, sense, and are within the allowable limits of this code. I have no further comments. This is so ambiguous. Is it saying I agree or don't agree? It's just a comment back to the person that wrote them. It is important that all as-built analyses are kept on file for future reference. Not analysis, reference. All right, so that's so ambiguous. And then this is the reply. This is kind of a reverse order, and I think it's done on purpose to screw you up with trying to do an analysis of all these emails. All right, so this is the chain from that one. And here is Jorge, District 6, engineer, and this is the reply to above. Since the stresses are within allowable limits, FHWA has no further comments regarding the transverse tendons for the FIU bridge, pedestrian bridge. Please keep as-built supports documented in the profile and the project profile. It doesn't resolve anything. This just says keep documentation, and it's back to the sense part again, right? As we look back to above, this is Raphael saying it. Raphael is from the Florida Department of Transportation, and Raphael says, you are good to go. See the string of emails below. I don't think these emails below say you are good to go. I think it's ambiguous and opens it up to discussion, further discussion about, hey, tell me, am I good to go? Raphael is made a leap of faith there, if you will. I would have never made this leap of faith. I am not. If I got doubts, you're going to give it to me written, or I'm going to come to a stop. I'm not going to be the one to do it. All right. So, and you can then go from there. But I'm stopping because I'm going to show you. I'm just showing you that this is the hen guarding the fox guarding the hen house, and that this is going back to here. That no way will they find that these positions are wrong without having to address these emails. And maybe they won't address them, but I'm done. I'm done with this. You know, this is as far as I think we need to go. You have the conversely things are missing. You have these being released, obviously throwing MCM under the bus with their configuration without a silent punch, if you will, because it's not giving an explanation. Anybody with knowledge would know that this is just crap, in my opinion. Okay, so this is what and I don't think the attorney has engineering skill set. Perhaps he does, the engineer that's released these, because it went through his office, as it says. So maybe he does have the skill set to know, I'll release this and let the trolls of the internet, myself included, I guess, to troll these images and find the faults, and then push this back towards this is as-built MCM issue and not FIU's issue. And I think so this is released, and I think it's designed to send us in this direction. I think that we need the full data and the response from FIU. These are FIU going out to FIU, and we don't see FIU. He released all the stuff going out. So conversely, where is FIU coming back from BPA? But FIU appears to be silent with their release of this, and this came from FIU as my sources shared. FIU is silent on all these, so that's the conversely thing. So FIU is protecting their arse, and they're not releasing the data in a fair way. Of course, I'm going to attack this in this capacity, but I say attack this in this capacity. This is what I have to attack. But you just release it all. Release it all. Let us be overwhelmed and let us find it. FIU, where's your responses to this? All right. Now this has been released. Let's counter this. Counter this with more data. FIU is part of the Fox here, and this is a narrative release, if you will, to direct the narrative against MCM, against FIG, against FDOT, against the inspecting engineer. In fact, it all goes there. In fact, none of it, unless you used it conversely and notice that they were notified, goes against FIU at this time. All right, thanks guys for watching, and sorry for the longer video.